Hi guys, welcome back to a weekend. Welcome if you're new. I'm back with February week 4's cash spending review, as well as a review of February's budget. Cash stuffing for March week 1 will take place in another video. If you're new to cash envelope stuffing or budgeting, or your current money management methods aren't working out, this video, as well as my others, could be helpful to you. So starting with my cash expenses folder. And groceries, of the £100 I put in here last week, I have just 2p left for my savings tin. I tried out a full weekly shop at Home Bargains for a change, so check out my video on that if you're interested in how it went. I spent nearly the full £100 in there and just left myself a couple of pounds for bread and milk, which I spent later on in the week. And I still have quite a bit of food in, which is good. Diesel, the £60 stuffed in here last week has been enough to get us out and about, visiting family and on some free days out to some local attractions. Whilst we've been off at work and school for half term, I will need to fill up when I get paid tomorrow though, quite urgently. Eating out, I challenged myself to a second week of no eating out after overspending on this quite a bit earlier in the month, as you'll know. Last week went really well, but I do have to confess, I treated myself and the girls to a burger when we went out to Liverpool to visit some underground tunnels. We were there just a lot longer than expected, and although I did take snacks and drinks, we were starving when we got out, so I gave in to the kids asking for food. We went to a nice restaurant called Fat Hippo and got a burger and fries. These were £7 each on the lunchtime offer, so it wasn't too bad. And I'll let you know how this was paid for. How many times have I said that this month? Kids' pocket money. Bella had nothing left in here last week, but still has quite a bit of birthday money left and savings in a tin, so she's fine, and same with Lydia. Car cleaning, I used it all up, there's nothing left in here. Windows, thankfully the window cleaner called round for his £10 for cleaning the windows this week. And we know what the planned spending folder is. Onto sinking funds now. Days out. I had £30 left over in here last week, and I used £5 for parking on 2 days out, and then the other £25 for burgers whilst we were on our trip to Liverpool. I'd looked for free day out options with free or low cost travel and parking, so I didn't mind using this money for food. It's what the kids asked for. Gifts, I had nothing left in here last week or for previous weeks because I overspent at the beginning of February quite a bit on gifts. Health, so I did have £100 in here, but I took out £80 in total for a routine dental checkup, which was well overdue for myself, and also for me girls to have the hairs washed, cut and blow dried yesterday. I also took Bella's friend along who'd been over for lunch, and she had hers washed and blow dried as well as like a little treat. I didn't want to leave it out. So yeah, it's turned into a bit of health stroke self-care envelope, which is absolutely fine. And I have £20 left in here. Clothing, nothing left last week. Benny, nothing left last week. Holidays, nothing being stuffed in here for now. Christmas, the £150 are stuffed in here this month, and previous month remains untouched, so there's a total of £300 still in here, thankfully. Miscellaneous, nothing left last week. Emergency funds, my £310 remains untouched. Savings, I had hoped to have £100 in here to start savings for Lydia's school prom in June, but as you know, that got eaten up by a birthday party, so there's nothing in here at the minute. And on we go to reviewing the entire month of February. So I've already gone ahead and filled out my actuals after going on my online banking app and through my weekly reviews against what I'd budgeted. Fixed expenses. Now I saved a few pounds on water and utilities, but my home insurance has risen by £2 a month. So the result was me being left with an extra £34 in the bank towards my buffer, and I haven't touched this. My cash expenses came in over budget. My groceries were bang on thanks to careful planning, which you can see in a couple of my grocery shopping videos. I saved £10 on diesel, but spent £70 more than I budgeted for eating out, which was already more than I'd normally budget for a month due to my daughter's birthdays. But we had a McDonald's and ate out during the holidays, as you know. I did manage to complete a no eating out week though, which was a big achievement for me. So I'm just going to focus on this positive and move on. It's not every month that my daughters have their birthdays and are off school. So anyway, yes, I ended up spending £45 more on cash expenses, which ended up coming out of sinking funds. As you can see, I spent less from here on days out, clothing, Benny and miscellaneous to allow for all the extra eating. Do you know what? I have spent quite a bit in these areas, but by reviewing where it was each week, changing plans or moving money about, I still managed to balance my budget and avoid taking from Christmas and emergency savings, so I'm good with that. On to savings, I spent the £100 I put away to kickstart Lydia's savings for a prom on her 16th birthday party. I'd forgotten that I'd agreed to pay for some fancy LED numbers, and I went a bit mad on a balloon arch that I made myself. Was really good though, meaning Lydia's party ended up costing me just under £500 in total. Although I do celebrate my girls' birthdays every year by doing something nice, this isn't typically the kind of money I'd spend. This year they've just had special milestone birthdays and they weren't able to do much last year, obviously due to COVID. Although next year I'll be spending much less on celebrating, I am going to start saving more in my gift envelope to make sure I'm covered. So now I can fill out my monthly budget review sheet. Just grab a pen. So end of month, February, total income was 3250. Fixed expenses, I plan to spend 1380 and actually spent 1346. Cash expenses, I plan to spend 895 and actually spent 940. Sinking funds, I plan to spend 730 and actually spend 685. Savings, I put away £245, but I ended up spending all of that, so there's nothing left in my envelope, unfortunately. So here I spend £34 less, here £45 more, £45 less, the same. Do you know what I am going to do is use my calculator for these other calculations. So my actual budget spend was 3250, actual spend was 3216, and the difference overall was £34, which I'll mark down here. I didn't have any additional income during the month, unfortunately. My leftover balance plus any additional income is still just the £34. This £34 added to the £30 I had left in last month's bank buffer puts me on £64. I had explained in last month's review that BT owed me £50, which they still do. I haven't chased it, so I'll leave a note here so I don't forget. I'm not in any major rush for it because when it eventually does get refunded, this will also just add to my bank buffer. As I said before, I want to increase my gift budget each month just to help with birthdays next February, so I'll make a note of that. These notes just help me when I come to budget for March. Do you know what, at some point during this month I did think I was in a bit of trouble, especially when eating out more than planned or buying extra gifts, but I was determined to leave what I've managed to save between my Christmas and emergency fund envelopes, and I did. They're still intact. As much as I'm doing this for myself and my girls, I'm doing it to inspire others. And so I could definitely hear a voice in my head saying, don't be dipping into any of those envelopes, Emma. What will all those people who are taking time to watch and learn from you and be inspired by your journey think? So in a very positive way, I do feel accountable to you guys. Thanks so much for being here, sharing feedback, comments and suggestions to keep me on track. You really are playing a massive role in me making better budgeting and spending decisions, and you're helping everyone else watching as they see and learn from my progress towards a more intentional way of living and financial security, really. That's what community is. I really do appreciate all of you. I hope you've enjoyed this video and found it helpful and insightful. Let me know by giving me a like or by sharing your thoughts in the comments. Hit the bell and subscribe button for more content like this and on planning and intentional living. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye for now.